Over the years, some have cast doubt over Derek Goff and suggested that he invented the military source. After much persistence, I was able to find out the identity and the address of the military source. I can state categorically the military source is a real person and was in the armed forces. I found out his identity. I went to his house to see if he would speak. Bear in mind, this was in 2013, and he had not spoken about the mutilations since 1997, 16 years earlier. I pulled up outside his house and he was sitting on the step, and I had a brief conversation with him, and I've recorded some of that on a pen camera. What follows is a transcript of the first conversation I had when I pulled up outside his house. Hiya, are you? Yes. I've been doing some research and would like to ask you, were you involved in Group 58? Group 58? Group 58? In the military? On the Brecon Beacons? He then shakes his head. No. There's a guy called... Is that you? Yes. What's going on? You were in the military between 1983 and about 1995. Were you in the army? Have you been in the army? No. What's all this about? It's a story that I've been researching, and I've been trying to find this guy. A colleague of mine helped me find you, so that's all I know. What regiment? It was a NATO regiment, connected with NATO. NATO? Yes, so it's Special Forces. Who gave you that? Who gave you that then? Who gave me that? A guy called Tony Dodd. He shouldn't have given you that. He shouldn't have given you that. Sorry? He shouldn't have given you that. He shouldn't have given me it. Well, I did make contact with him. Tony Dodd has spoken to you, I think. He shouldn't have given you that information. Well, are you prepared to speak to me? No. No. You can't say anything then? No, just drive away. Drive away. Okay. What I've done is I've written him a note and I've come back today. So the note explained the reason why I'm contacting him, that I'm interested in these particular photographs, and he's actually spoken to me. So he said, look, we can't talk here. So I've got an inkling that, you know, maybe he might speak to me, I don't know, but the guy is on 2 crutches and he also has a wheelchair. He's got MS. MS is one of the conditions you can get if you are exposed to high levels of radiation, which in the notes that I've got from Derek Goff, this is what allegedly happened to him. He had exposure because he was 5 feet from a UFO, and he ended up in hospital for 2 weeks with another guy. So the condition that he's in now, he had 2 crutches, is quite possibly down to the work that he was doing in his find and secure unit to cover up UFO cases, and in particular mutilated human beings. I also said that I was aware of the photographs that had been handed to Tony Dodd. 11 photographs, I said, of 2 mutilated corpses up on Brecon. He didn't flinch. He knew exactly what I was talking about, and when I mentioned UFOs, he didn't flinch. He knew what I was talking about. But he said to me, look, you can't keep coming to the house. He said to us, right, if you drive down there in this particular car park, he says, wait for me there, I'll be 20 minutes. So I waited, he showed up, and then he said, right, follow me in the car. He drove about a mile to a place which is safe, that no one can hear us speaking. We got out the car. He then checked to make sure that I didn't have any recording devices on me, and I turned my pockets inside out and showed him that my camera was in the car. I said, is it okay if I take some notes? So I had a piece of paper and a pencil. He says, that's fine. So he spoke to me. This man said that he was in a black ops unit that was controlled by the Yanks. That's what he said. And he said that when he volunteered for this in the 1980s, he didn't know what he was getting himself into. He said that we didn't know what we were volunteering for. But once we'd volunteered, we had no choice but to stick with it. You're in for life. And he said that if they find out that people like him speak about their operations, he wouldn't be here and his family wouldn't be here. He was implying that his life is at risk, and his family's, if he was to speak about what he knows about. Now, I asked him about this alleged encounter with the UFO. In the previous notes, it was stated that one of these black ops soldiers was just 5 feet from a UFO. I asked him about this, and he confirmed that that was the case. And I said to him, well, why how come you were so close to it? And he said, we were guarding it. All right, so I said, well, was it a crash retrieval? And he said, right, I can't tell you any more information about that, so read into that what you will. Now, he also said that he witnessed all kinds of things in and around the craft. He said that he actually witnessed an ET on more than one occasion, and he said it's nothing like you would see in films with big eyes and smiley faces. And I said, well, what did this being look like? And he said it looked like a devil. And he also said that they would rip you apart. That was what he said. And he said that he did get a view of inside this particular landed UFO, and he said that there was all kinds in there, and he implied that there was human body parts in there, and we've heard that from people such as Bill Cooper in the past. Now, I asked him about his injuries because he clearly has got health problems, and as have a number of the people who were on his team, and he said that some of his colleagues were no longer with us, so they've died as a result of their injuries, which were they suffered as a result of being in part of this find and secure team. He also said that they have all suffered skin rashes, skin cancer, and tumours as well. And like I say, some of his friends on that unit have already passed away, and they'll only be probably in their early 50s. Now, I asked him about the injuries to try and get him to describe the injuries that have been found on some of these recovered corpses, and he just said, you just wouldn't want to see it. All right. He also gave information about an underground facility near Sunnybridge, and also confirmed the radar facility, which is hidden under the ground on the Brecon beacons, which comes up at night, some radar facility which is used for tracking the UFOs. And I asked him, you know, how come you're able to do this? And it's because he confirmed again that they have advanced warning, and he doesn't know how. He doesn't know how they know when these UFOs are going to appear. And I asked him how often he would go out on these missions, these find and secure missions. He said about 4 times every 6 months. I asked him about the statement in Derek Goff's notes that they witnessed between 30 and 40 mutilated human beings. He confirmed that. He confirmed that, you know, there's a lot of cases. He was saying, oh, films are all good enough about UFOs and ETs and all of this. He said, but when you get involved in it in reality, it's a completely different thing. And the other thing he said was, he says this statement that aliens are friendly, that he's obviously heard through watching media and whatnot, he says he was no way. And I said to him, well, how long do you think this sort of activity is being going on for? And without flinching, he said, since before we were here. And I said, is it still going on now? Absolutely. And I said to him, do you believe that there's different types of being, different types of alien? And he said, yes, he did believe that. I asked him about locations where this activity is going on, and he said he believed that it was happening all over the world. I also asked him how he felt about his situation, the fact that he's not allowed to speak about anything, and the fact that he's obviously physically affected by the radiation burns that he received. And he said he didn't have any hard feelings about it, because he said that we signed up for this. Okay, we didn't know what we were signing up to, but we knew it was something that could put our lives at risk, so I signed up for it. So he doesn't, and he said that's why they're looking after him now. Just from his demeanour and his mannerisms, the way that he put it across, he was confirming pretty much everything that I was asking him about the original Goff interview, and he also gave me additional information.